Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. We are the week of the 9 days, okay? Tisha is coming soon. And the shiur of today is why Yerushalayim was destroyed. So there are many versions, and when we open the gemara and we want to see what is the reason that Yerushalayim was destroyed, the rabbis give their own opinions. Every rabbi says something else. And well, for thousands of years, the temple is not there anymore, and we want and we yearn and we ask and we pray and we anticipate the Mashiach to come. And the question is how to do that. Okay, we're waiting already for thousands of years, and the Mashiach didn't come. Is there any hope? Is there any way? Can we do something about this? Or is it going to stay like that all the time? So this is a hard shiur because it says Kol Dor, any generation that the Holy Temple is not built in that generation, it's like we destroyed it. It's not like we prevent it from building it's like we destroyed it. And it's a big responsibility. It's a very big claim. Hello, we destroyed it? It's their sinat chinam. They had hatred. What do you want from us? But let's open the gemara, okay, Masachet Shabbat, and let's see what the rabbis say about why Yerushalayim was destroyed. So, Rab Ula אומר, says, לא חווה ירושלים אלא מפני שלא היה להם בושת פנים. No embarrassment from each other, shaming one another, and you know, one of the identification sign of Am Yisrael is Baishanim, okay, that we are shy, okay, Rachmanim, that we have mercy, Gomlei Chasadim, we like to help other people. And here we say that the people in Jerusalem at the time of the destruction didn't have any shame. I want to tell you that when people made sins, okay, they didn't feel embarrassed from that, and they did it publicly, and they were proud of it. When I say דור שלא נבנה בו בית המקדש כאילו נחרב בו, it's like it was destroyed. Are we better? That's the question. Did we change it? Did we fix it? Did we make tshuva? Did we repent on this sin? A woman came to the rabbi's office, and she wanted him to help him with the problem of shlom bayit. She and her husband, they had a dispute, they had a problem. The husband, they didn't get along for a while already, and she is working with this guy, okay, in her office. And he is, giving her compliments and so much nicer. Where with her husband, she keeps fighting him like. And slowly, or fast, I don't know, they get too much close to one another. And when the husband, he realized that she is not faithful to him anymore, okay, he started to fight with her even more, to scream at her and whatever, and she wants a get. He doesn't want to give a get, not in this kind of conditions. And they're fighting and they're screaming and this and that. She's saying he's not satisfying her, he's not this, he's not that. And she tells him, you have to accept me the way I am. There's not a lot of people that like to say this mantra today, you have to accept me as I am. And she doesn't, even though she knows that he knows that she's not loyal to her husband, she's not feeling embarrassed. She's not feeling shy or shame or anything. No, you have to accept it the way you are. And she kept fighting, to get the get and or to whatever. This is called when people don't have any shame. Rabbi Yitzchak says, why was Yerushalayim destroyed? אלא בשביל שהושבו בה קטן וגדול. People compare, young to old, people in higher status to people that have regular status, like Kohen, which is a person that used to work in the Holy Temple, or a rabbi, is like anybody else. It's like, all of us. And this is a problem, because people sometimes decide, I will decide who do I appreciate more than another, who is acceptable, who is important for me, and whether it's the rabbi, or those days either it's the prophet, or this Kohen or that Kohen, and that's a mistake. That's a problem. I'll tell you something that happened with my husband. It was a while ago, this story. A guy, it was very, very hard for him to find a shiur. For a while, he was searching and searching and searching, and it was hard for him. And so one day he met this beautiful, gorgeous woman. She was converted, okay? Asleep, blonde, beautiful outside person. And he started to hang out with her, to go out with her, and they started to like each other, and he came to the rabbi one day and he said, Rabbi, I want you to marry off with this wonderful woman. The rabbi was talking to her, and from the conversation he understood that he is not the only man in her life. And he's trying to warn him, very delicately, very gently, that maybe she's not the person for him. And he's like, no. He gets very furious, he gets very upset at the rabbi. How come you telling me? I didn't come to ask your opinion. I came you to marry us off. And so eventually, when he saw that the rabbi, he keeps telling him that maybe it's not a good idea for him, he tells me, I know, you're jealous at me. You're jealous at me. I found this gorgeous woman. And that's, So he found himself a different rabbi, and he got married. And very soon afterwards, from some reason, he found that, that she wasn't loyal to him as well. And this is when people decide, you're equal to me, I can talk to you, you're in my level. And this was the problem also at that time. אמר רבי עמרם, לא חרבה ירושלים אלא בשביל שלא הוכיחו זה את זה. People did not rebuke one another. They saw that people sin and didn't say anything. It's like they give you descriptions here of animals, that one head of an animal is facing the tail of the other animal, and they're all looking at the ground and don't do anything. This is what they say. Meaning, you see the problem, you see people doing stuff, whether they violate Shabbat, or they eat non-kosher, or they do whatever, and they don't do anything about this. So, in those days, a few years ago, few people took out a letter against one of the rabbis. And no one protested. No one said anything, no one did anything about this. Some time passed. Meanwhile, people humiliated this rabbi, did slander, embarrassed, falsely accused him with all kind of stuff. lied about him. And but as you say, eventually everything is coming up to the surface, and people see what's the truth. People see that it was all lies and it wasn't true. And sometimes it's self-interest, sometimes people are biased, all kind of reasons. And then we lately see that that's the problem. Every month or so, another letter comes out against another rabbi. Every time something else. Why is this that we recently have it, that rabbis are talking about against rabbis, people are talking about rabbis and organizations, this and that? If not because people heard and didn't rebuke each other, didn't say, hey, it's not for us, we don't want to be part of the machloket, we don't want to be part of this. And because of that, it continues on. I'll tell you, not in that level, maybe in another level. A few years ago, a young man passed away because of using overdose, drugs. People didn't want to talk about this in the beginning. They hushed everyone, they quieted everyone not to speak about this issue. And then, a month later, a young woman passed away. And then afterwards, another one passed away, and another guy passed away, and another one. And then it became like, like a calamity kind of, This is when people was awakened a little bit and started to talk about this, and what could they prevent, how could they, okay. Once, God forbid, they got a hit, they started to talk about this. But otherwise, you keep quiet. It's not my problem. It's not in my family. What do you want from me? And that's a problem. רבי אבאו says, לא חווה ירושלים אלא בשביל שביטלו קריאת שמע של שחרית וערבית. מה זה ביטלו קריאת שמע? It's very important to say קריאת שמע on time. When people used to wake up from early in the morning, and instead of drinking some tea, some coffee to wake up a little, instead they were drinking wine or shechar, any alcohol to make them, to alcohol to get drunk. And they would go to sleep late, going to parties, this and that, enjoying alcohol and stuff, wake up late, get up late, wake up late, drinking constantly. And canceled and didn't go to shul or didn't pray קריאת שמע של שחרית ושל ערבית. The rabbis explain this thing in connecting day to night, having the Torah in their life, but not really applying it to their life. What do I mean by that? People know the laws. People usually calling us now before the 9 days, what we cannot do, what we are not allowed to do. Okay? These are most of the questions. So people, Baruch Hashem, are excellent in halachot, they know everything. But how do you implement Torah in your life? The idea of these days is not only prevention, don't eat this, don't eat that. The idea of these days is to do, acts of kindness, ben adam lechavaro, working on our qualities. Okay, these are the things. And people don't apply, don't put together the Torah to their life, or if they do, they don't know how to do this. There's a very, very strong example in the Gemara that's written about this guy that was working as an assistant to a carpenter, and he saw the carpenter's wife and he fell in love with her, something like that. So one day this carpenter, needed some money, and he asked for a loan. He said, who should I ask? The assistant said, I could give you a loan. So he told him, send your wife to me and I will give you the loan. He sent his wife to get the loan. 3 days passed and she didn't come back. And he was shocked. He went to inquire for her. He went to his friend, to the assistant. Hello, where's my wife? He said, oh, I gave her, I sent her right away. But I heard that, some young guys, they found her in the streets and they abused her and they did whatever with her. So the guy said, what should I do now? What should I do now? I don't know what to do. What should I do? He tells her, if you listen to me, divorce her. She's not for you. He says, I can't. Her ketubah, I promised a lot of money if I will separate from her. He said, I'll lend you the money. Don't worry. He gave him the money, and he gave her divorce. Right afterward, this assistant got married to her. This is a terrible story. Now, after a time, he was supposed to give back the money, the carpenter, to the assistant, and they didn't have the money. He comes to the assistant and tells him, I don't have the money, what should I do? He tells him, so come to work by me, and slowly you're going to pay the debt. So he comes to his house. His ex-wife is with this assistant of his. He needs to serve them now. Food, he does food for them, he serves them, he pours them wine and drink and this. And it says, the description in the gemara, that he was tearing, and his tear fell into the wine or to the drinks that he was pouring to them. Okay? What is the connection here to whatever I said before? People, it looks like the assistant was okay. He asked for money, he gave him money. He asked for assistance, what should I do here? He gave him advices. He did according to whatever it says. He gave him, but that's not Torah. That's not Torah's life. And see, and see how people can, go totally to the other direction if they, if they do this way. אמר רב ימנונה, לא חווה ירושלים, אלא שביטלו בתינוקות של בית רבן. Kids, they are so pure. When they learn Torah, they bring so much purity to the world, okay? And in those days, kids stop learning. And it's very, very bad when kids are not learning. ביטלו בתינוקות של בית רבן, stop going to school, hanging out in the streets, doing nothing, wasting time. Hello? It says a place that there is no תינוקות של בית רבן, little kids learn Torah, you're supposed to put cherem on this place. What is this place when kids are not learning? So they say even if you have to build the holy temple, you don't take little kids, let them study. Today we have such a long vacation, summer vacation. It's unbelievable how long it is, but whatever. So what's the problem in our days with this? Today, Baruch Hashem, the education system is so well, everyone is in the yeshivot. It looks like the yeshivot is blooming and everything is fine, everybody is learning, everything is good. You know that many people are not able to pay tuition? Tuition money is so high, it's ridiculous. I met a woman. She moved here from Brooklyn, from all kind of reasons. She told me, after a while, I took out my kids from yeshiva. I told her, why? She says, in Brooklyn it was so cheaper, and here it's so much expensive. I have 4 or 5 kids, I don't know how many kids she has. I cannot pay all these sums. It's so much. I know that Baruch Hashem priority may be wrong there, because they'll pay for all kind of accessories in the house and all kind of other expenses, but it is becoming very ridiculous, the price that they offer, that they take from people, and if people cannot pay, they will push them off. They will tell them, they will turn them over. They tell them, you cannot be part of our school. Rabbis then don't accept kids to their schools because they cannot pay tuition. It's one of these people that were destroying Yerushalayim. It's not that easy, okay? And so we can do whatever we can help, to help them raise money and do whatever. But I don't know if you heard about that. There was, I think it was in time of the Chafetz Chaim, about 100 years ago. The communist revolution started. There was this beautiful young guy. His name was Leibele Burstein. nice guy that came to learn in, I think in Chavetz Chaim, in one of the yeshivot, but couldn't pay the tuition that they asked. And they hold him and hold him and hold him and hold him there. How much you can hold him there? And after a while, they release him and tell him, you cannot pay, what can you do? This guy left the yeshiva and he became Leon Trotsky. He changed his name and he was one of these people that started the revolution in Russia. See how much potential these people had? They were so smart. They knew how to do, they knew how to talk to the people, they knew how to... They had a lot of potential. If this potential would go to Torah, imagine yourself what kind of Talmid Chacham you would become. This Leon Trotsky. אמר רבי יהודה, לא חרבה ירושלים, אלא בשביל שביזו בה תלמידי חכמים. They humiliated, okay? They humiliated rabbis, תלמידי חכמים. You know the story of Zechariah ben Yehoiada. Zechariah was Navi and Kohen Gadol. And he was rebuking the king, Yoash, that, and all his people, and all the Sarai Yehuda, all the very important people of Yehuda, that they're idol worshipping, that they're doing bad stuff, that they're supposed to improve themselves, become better. And this Yoash didn't like the fact that he was rebuking him. You have to understand that Zechariah's father, Yehoiada, was a Kohen Gadol. He saved this king, Yoash, king life. There was this bad woman by the name of Atalia. She wanted to kill all the descendants of David HaMelech. She killed all of them, only he was left. And he kept him in the Holy of Holiness. He kept him, so no one would touch him or would find him. Eventually, he was the one that killed his son, the Zechariah. You know this story that Hashem was so upset. It was in Yom Kippur, that in front of everyone, that he did that, and his blood was bubbling and bubbling and bubbling. Never rested his blood. And 250 years later came Nebuzaradan, the Nebuchadnezzar's general. And he saw this blood bubbling there, and he asked the people, what is this? They didn't want to tell him in the beginning, what is this? He tries to cover it with his hand, he tries to do it doesn't help. He tries to kill animals. They said they used to sacrifice it. Nothing. He killed 80,000 Pirchei Kehuna, young rabbis, young Kohanim. It didn't come down. And then he promised, he said, I will kill the whole Jewish nation, I don't care. And only then Hashem had mercy and this blood started bubbling. Why? Because of the humiliation that was done to this Talmid Chacham in front of everyone. Stam, they killed a rabbi. What about our days? Are we better our days? In these days? This week, a woman came to the rabbi. Sick woman. She has cancer in few places in her body. She suffers a lot. They did treatment, looked like it was okay, but it came back to her now in a very, very hard way. She had so much problems. Her one of her daughters is divorced. The other one had a autistic child. It's hell. It's very, very hard. Her husband is laid off. They have this problem and this problem and this problem. So many problems. And the rabbi asked her, what's the name of your father? He wanted to pray for her, for her mother, her mother's name, her father. She said the name of the father. And he remembered how many years ago her father of hers, he was always talking against rabbis. Talking against rabbis. Lashon hara, and bad language about them. Stam, talking bad about them, telling from this to go to this one, telling this. You see how Hashem is upset at that? And because, we spoke so many times about this. Machloket is like fire. And fire is one of these avot nizikin, it's called it. You call it, it created damages that has no control. Once fire is out of control, there's no control. And God forbid, when Hashem punishes, there's no control for this too. The punishment can continue and become bigger and become bigger. You cannot do anything about this. We have to be so careful from talking about rabbis and about other people as well. So, אמר רבא, look at this, לא חרבה ירושלים אלא בגלל שפסקו בה אנשי אמנה. You couldn't find any more people that you can trust them, that are faithful, trustworthy, that doing justice, that care for justice. It was very, very hard to find this kind of people. If you think about this, in the second temple they used to buy kehuna. You know, kehuna is supposed to go from father to son, from father to son. In the second temple they used to buy kehuna. They used to go to the Romans and bribe them, and whoever prays the most, you know, he will be the Kohen. Okay, that's how it used to be in the second temple. So,
Romans dominated somehow. Why Romans dominated? It wasn't.
they were fighting after the Hashmonaim, problem with the Hashmonaim, time of Hanukkah, the Greek. Okay, they were. They didn't fight. They were fighting Aristobulus and this and that, all kind of kings over their brothers, and then they couldn't get along themselves. They asked the Romans to come and interfere. When they came to intervene, they came to intervene. They took it all the way, slowly. Yeah. Question? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, think about today. Today people give kashruyot. Kashrut. One is not relying on the other. The providers of the kashrut, okay, don't believe the providers of the products themselves, okay? They don't believe each other. The kashruyot, the rabbis, don't believe each other. On sometimes one package you can find 5 hechsherim, and you don't understand why you need so much hechsherim on one product. And one is annulling the other. A lot of power struggles, a lot of games, a lot of. Huh?
What do they teach?
That's what I say. If we think that only in those generations they had a mistake and today we're better, no, we're not better. We didn't fix anything yet because we're still in the same thing. Not only this, I'll tell you, and this is something that bothers us very, very much. Even if you want to learn Torah, you want to learn Judaism, you want to learn. Sometimes there are some organizations that think that only they can provide Judaism, not the others. If a lecturer comes from Israel or from somewhere to speak, they have to go through them. They cannot go through anybody else. Where is this coming from? Okay? If not power struggles, money, they got some money or whatever, that's not the way it's supposed to be done. And and all this, whatever I mentioned by now, okay, it says in Masechet Shabbat, it all starts with this sentence. It's all whatever I said starts with another sentence before that. אמר רבי, לא חרבה ירושלים, אלא בשביל שחיללו בה את השבת. They violated the Shabbat, and this is why Yerushalayim was destroyed. Violated the Shabbat. Already at that time, people did business on Shabbat, or didn't keep the spirit of Shabbat, the atmosphere of Shabbat. Okay, did some maybe negotiation or stuff, carried things from place to place. And if people would do this mistake, other people would not say anything to them. They ignored it and let them do, whatever these sinners wanted. It says that the Shabbat is equal to all the mitzvot. It says in Sefer Masechet Baba Batra. And if somebody violates the Shabbat, okay, he distances the Geulah, the redemption. And he hurts all Am Yisrael, because all of us suffer because of that. He breaks this unity that's supposed to be in the Jewish identity, okay, in the Jewish nation, and that's a problem. We cannot be the chosen nation afterwards. I remember when we came here, so the rabbi was trying to put a lot of gates so people won't violate the Shabbat. Motzei Shabbat, Saturday nights, no events. Because when Shabbat comes out, like now, at around 9:15, okay? And the event starts at even at 10. It takes time to prepare to hundreds of people or even 50 people. It takes time. How we feel so much pressure when we have one guest coming already a few hours before we start preparing with salads, this food. Imagine a lot of people, like every caterer wants to keep their name and their fame and their, of course they want to start ahead of time. They cannot do everything on Friday. But then people felt that it's too strict or whatever, and lately it's very loose. People do whatever they want now. It's a problem.
The Shabbat is not
This
over.
is the
gates
Shabbat.
are on already.
Huh?
The Shabbat is not over yet, but the gates of the restaurants are already.
Hashem Eloheinu.
They kept going.
Okay,
It's
but
the-
still. So, גמרא מסכת בבא מציע, it says, לא חרבה ירושלים, אלא שהעמידו דיניהם על דין תורה, ולא עבדו מלפנים משורת הדין. Laws of the Torah is the law of the Torah. We want to go according to the justice, and we don't care about, מה זה לפנים משורת הדין? So there was this rabbi that hired some people, porters or carriers, that will carry some barrels of wine that he had, okay? And he made an agreement with them. If you're going to break them, I'm not going to pay you. They said, fine. I don't know, one of them slept, and one of them didn't pay attention, one of them this and that. They broke the barrels of wine. So they came to the guy, and he said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay you. And so, but not only this, they made him a damage. So he tells them, give me your coats as a collateral that you're going to, give me your coats. You have to pay my damage. So they went to the rabbi, to the Beit Din. They said, Rabbi, we are poor people. We don't have anything. He took even our coats. The rabbi told him, please give it back to them. He says, why? Is it really the law? He says, no, but there's a pasuk that says, למען תלך בדרך טובים. You know, it's Sefer Mishlei. You have to go in a good way. Try your best. Okay, fine. He gave them their coats. They came again to the rabbi, these people, and said, rabbis, we are so poor. We are hungry. We want to eat something. He didn't pay us anything. So the rabbi tells him, pay them. He said, for what? For breaking my wines? For doing this damage? He says, pay. He said, is this the law? He says, no, but you know, לפנים משורת הדין. Go, you know, even though you don't have to. This is called לפנים משורת הדין. And we wanted the law. I'm right, so I'm right. I have to go all the way. A story from our days, and you all know this story. I mean, it's not a story, it's a sad circumstance that happened. A old man passed away. All his sons are fighting now for the inheritance. It comes to a point that it's slander and it's lashon hara, and it's throwing a lot of filth and garbage and on one another. They send one another to jail. They keep informing the police every second that this made a mistake, this is made a problem, you have to arrest him, you have to do this, you have to do that. They call all the rabbis, they call all the Beit Dins, they call all and they claim that they want to do everything according to the Torah law. They go to the Beit Din, they want the rabbi to make a cherem on them, to boycott them, to ban them, people shouldn't talk to them, people shouldn't... Hello? If you're... Sometimes people, they want to be right, but instead be smart. What are you gaining from this? The whole community is upside down. The kids, they almost canceled 2 weddings in that day. They keep sending to the in-laws bad information about them, and it's terrible. And you know something? People keep quiet. In a way, they sit and okay, let us enjoy this nice movie or something. And it's wrong, and it's not supposed to be this way. This is when people want justice. Now,
And if you interfere and the other party is not listening?
okay, so they came to a point. They came to a point already that they climbed to such a high tree they cannot come down themselves. They need rabbis. They need authority to really help them out. They cannot really do it on their own. It came to a point that's going to be very hard for them. But if we make a group and we come as a group, okay, to help them down, to help them come out to I don't know, to do something about this, they will have to listen. There's no choice.
Impossible. They won't listen. They already, if rabbis, authorities cannot do anything, it's already in a dead end.
They're asking for help or on wrong people. I know you're talking about it. They're asking help from wrong people. It came to me already, but you know what? We cannot help them.
Now let me ask you a question. What do you know? Why was the Holy Temple destroyed? Because of these reasons or some other reasons that you know? Huh?
But this is general. Sinat Chinam, it's general.
But it has in depth, there's a lot of
Yeah.
concepts, you know.
You know, people don't respect.
Jealousy,
talk about each
hatred,
other,
you know.
Hatred,
you know.
Second temple, what it was many things. People already stopped going to temple. People already went different ways. They didn't go sacrifices. They didn't do so much.
So the second temple was lower in spirituality than the first temple. In Masechet Yoma it says, Mikdash Rishon, the first holy temple, was destroyed because of three main sins: Avodah Zarah, Gilui Arayot, v'Shfichut Damim. Second temple, and I will mention all of them now. Second temple, they had Torah. They were going to classes, they were keeping mitzvot, keeping Torah. They didn't have this Avodah Zarah, but like you said, hatred. Okay? So, Avodah Zarah. The kings, the people used to worship idols. The biggest example is Menashe HaMelech that brought idol to the Holy Temple. It was crazy. It was such a craving, such an evil inclination to do Avodah Zarah. We don't understand it today. So after the destruction, the rabbis were asking Hashem, please take us this evil inclination. We cannot do it anymore. So it decreased. It's not like it used to be. Therefore, in the second temple, we didn't have it. But you know something? Spirituality
went down
too. Because it's levels. Once
Balance
this goes down, this goes down too. We're not so crazy to do mitzvot like we used to. But that's another story. What is the Avodah Zarah of today? Today we don't worship idols, Baruch Hashem. Today, today, any addiction, anything that takes your attention too much, okay? Because we have to remember our husbands, our children, our family, these are the most important thing that we have. And if we don't give attention to this and instead pay attention to the smartphone, to the internet, people spend hours on the internet, even the smartphone. What would people do 5 years ago? Not even going more than that. It wouldn't consume so much time, these smartphones. It's unbelievable how we enslaved ourselves to that. And then we make fun of our kids. How come they are like this? Okay? And so, smartphones and all this, you have to be careful because once it takes away, I'll tell you something. This week, somebody approached my husband. So he's a rabbi that performs, that organizes Yehoshua, Askarot, Mulot, kaze. And he said that somebody called him 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, asked him to come and to, do this Azkara for him, this Yehoshua, this Memorial Day. He said fine. And then this week, or last week, he called him to cancel. Who cancels Azkarot? No one cancels Azkarot. So he asked him, what happened? He said, last week was the Mondial, this football game, whatever, the universal.
Everybody's busy.
And everyone was watching it, was I don't know, when was it, last week, Sunday maybe or
It was a
something?
big thing, yeah.
And people were hooked to the screens, they wanted to watch it, and they told him that they cannot come to the Yeshua. He said, if I don't have people, I won't make the Yeshua.
Okay.
Can you believe that?
Oh my God.
Stalin was trying to annul this Yeshua from the Bahrain community. He couldn't. For us, it's the most important thing, memorial for fathers, for mothers, for grandparents, for this. And this Mondial could do this. Can you believe it? This is Avodah Zarah.
Yeah.
This is Avodah Zarah.
So how can this be controlled?
Huh?
How could this be controlled? Like,
How could this be controlled? Have priorities. What's important for you, okay? And you have to gather the people. You have to talk to them. You have to tell them what's important. Whatever. The memory of parents, isn't that greater thing than everything? And you cancel it because of a stupid game, okay? So, גילוי עריות, לא עלינו. A couple came to the rabbi recently, the last 2 months that he deals with them. They got married, traditional family, okay? They got married. He's a barber. She is working in high tech, and she succeeded very much in her job. And didn't get along with each other, husband and wife, and she started to make fun of him. That he's a barber, he doesn't have any education, he doesn't know anything, she's so much advanced, she's so much better, she knows so much better, what is he, look at him, blah, blah. And he used to get very upset because she lowers him, she doesn't respect him, used to scream at her, used to yell at her. And this out used to go back and forth. And then, she, in one of the social networks, which is the biggest, or one of big Avodah Zarah that we mentioned before, she found a guy. And in America, there's this kind of ideology which is very, very problematic. People think, and you can see it in the movies, and you can see it in all. If I don't get along with my husband in the relationship, so I can do whatever I want because I'm not happy with him. You're not happy with him, that's fine. You can work out on the relationship, but you cannot leave it as is and go and have relationship with somebody else because of that. So she started a relationship with somebody else, and you know something? She got pregnant. And she's proud of that. She's proud of that. Her family are coming. They went to one of the babies and they wanted her to abort the baby because what is this, a mamzer? She's a married woman. Who's going to marry this boy afterwards? And they think that they talk about this now, the rabbis, what to do about this kind of a case. This is Gilui Arayot. We thought, Gilui Arayot. And it's not one or two examples. Yeah. It's many examples like that. Many examples like that. Shfichut damim. Shfichut damim is bloodshed. Okay, so we're not talking about going and killing people. Okay, but bloodshed could be humiliating people. When their blood is shed from their face, they become white from this. Rabbanit panim. Okay, and a few days ago, a clip is running, on WhatsApp between people. One rabbi speaks about another rabbi, and they're humiliating each other. Extortions, and all kind of corruptions, and all kind of stuff. And this one is talking about him that is like that, and this one is talking about him like that. Hello?
Wow.
We said that machloket is fire, and you're supposed to be away from fire. So listen, we also were hurt from these people, but I don't get pleasure seeing these rabbis fighting. It's humiliating everyone.
Whole Jewish nation.
Everyone. And it's very bad when such a thing happens, and only bad comes out of it. So this is Bet Mikdash Rishon. Avodah Zarah, Gilui Arayot, Shfichut damim. What was Bet Mikdash Sheni? Hatred. And the rabbi all give the examples of Kamsa and Bar Kamsa. He came to this party and he was there. He asked him to leave and everything. say that the most common fights between people is in the family. Husband and wife, they fight the most. And it's so common. And you say, this is hatred? This is not hatred. People are allowed to disagree. Of course, people are allowed to disagree. We're not the same. No one said that we are the same. Man is man, woman is woman. What can you do? They're different. But to go and fight... we were in touch with one of the widows that her husband passed away, was sick for a while. She said, I used to fight with him for the most stupid stuff. I wish he would be alive now. I would never come to these points anymore because it was stupid.
Just worked.
So in a perspective of time and place and in a perspective, you can see things different. And you see that you sometimes fight for nonsense, really nonsense. But people want to make a point, it's power struggles, it's this, it's that, and they think that they're right, and they did it. So, a couple went to a store that came also recently to Rabbi's office, came to live in 5 towns. Everything looks calm, everything looks okay, nice community, you know, everything's okay. But I guess the community over there, they're very competitive, okay? And very high standards. They came there, the kids going to their neighbors, they see that they have this game and these gadgets and this and this that, and they're demanding their parents. Women goes to their neighbors and see that she has this thing, and she goes to the gym, and she does this, and she does that, and I don't know exactly what they get there, and they want that too. And guys, so this couple, right? So he started to shave himself, to shave and to put aftershave and to look nice and to pay attention to how he wears. He saw this girl in his office that he wants to impress her, and she, I don't know, she went to the pediatrician, and he's young and he's energetic, and she wants to impress him too. So she wears shorter skirts and she wants to, I don't know whatever. And now they have serious problems of shalom bayit. Okay. They start accusing one another, they start blaming one another, they start, your father, my mother, and they want, it's not only a divorce, you see hatreds there now. They're willing to kill one another now. And you say to yourself, hello? Take away all these things and you will see that, you know, it's really not that important. It's not really a big issue, you know. Take yourself back in time, you know, where you used to live. What was about? Try to see what caused this tension between both of you. Money and yeah, unfortunately they open their eyes and you know, they're exposed now and it's a problem. I don't say that people are supposed to close themselves and live in darkness. No one said that. But when you see that your family is in danger, okay, you try to protect it. I read a story said it Rav Yaakov Levi about in a book that's called Adar. There was this guy by the name Boaz, and Boaz was father to 6 kids. Nice guy, everyone liked him, nice quality guy, everything was okay. But, lo aleinu, he felt weak, he went to do some checkups and they found, you know, God forbid, cancer. So, he didn't keep it as a secret, he told his friends that they should pray for him, and they started to pray for him and to do Tehillim and rounds of all kind of mitzvot that people take. Especially one of his friends, Pinchas, he said, I want to help my friend. I want to do everything I can. He started to do shiurim, he started to do stuff. And then he called his neighbor. He went to his neighbor that lived in his building. He knew that neighbor has a fight with another neighbor. And it became a whole big balagan over there. Everyone in that building is involved in that dispute that they had. Even the kids are involved. They take sides already. The kids are such a bad energy, such bad negative influence over there on anyone that lives on that building. He tells him and he says, I want to do something for my friend Boaz. Can you please help me in that? He said, sure, what do you want me to help me? He tells him, can you go and appease your friend and ask for forgiveness? So the first second is, but then please, and he asked him so nicely, and he spoke with him, and he didn't leave it there. He went also to the other one, and he asked the other one, can you please? So first days they were thinking about this, then they said, okay, for his health, we're going to try to do this piece. They went to each other, they asked for forgiveness, and they started a new page in their life. It wasn't easy, but Baruch Hashem. A month later, this boss goes back to the hospital to do some more checkups. No cancer. The doctors are, is it the same person? Cannot be. They do more checks and more checks. Baruch Hashem, nothing, no traces of nothing. It says, לא מצא הקדוש ברוך הוא כלי מחזיק ברכה לישראל, a vessel that holds the bracha, אלא השלום. Peace is so important. So what can we do now, okay, in order to bring the Mashiach? Are we able at all to bring the Mashiach? Can we bring the redemption? Is it possible? It's generations of people that do mistakes. We're not the only one, we're not the last one. But can we do something about this? We know that parallel to the Bet HaMikdash over here, there's a spiritual Bet HaMikdash in heaven. Every time we do a mitzvah, we build a brick in the heavenly Bet HaMikdash, and once this holy Bet HaMikdash will be filled up, this is B'ezrat Hashem when Hashem is going to bring down the Mashiach, the Bet HaMikdash down here to earth. An essence of a concept of destroy, of churban, of destruction, is when we don't even think that we do wrong. And if you don't think that you do it wrong, how can you repent for this? How can we do tshuva when we think that we are right? It's not my problem, it's his problem. I did it 100%. Okay? And so, what we could do in this B'ezrat Hashem Shabbat coming up is to strengthen more the family soul. We cannot fight against the whole world, but we could fight for our family. Your husband, your children. You conquered this, you go more. But for now, focus on this. Your husband, your children. It's so important. Okay? Don't expose yourself too much to the social medias or to anyone outside this small cell. Don't expose yourself. You expose yourself, you put yourself in trouble. Okay? We think that we're smarter than our daughters. We think that we're smarter from our granddaughters. We also bump into the same mistakes. We have to be careful. It says, okay, so next thing is to work on our qualities. Try to be positive. Try to look at the benefit of the doubt. Try to seek at the good of the people. Concentrate on good, because that's the only way. If you concentrate on the bad, you're not becoming a better person. So try to work on the qualities. Have a rabbi that will guide you, that will tell you what to do, because we're lost in there. And pray a lot. That not only us, not only we should be redeemed, but also Hashem in heaven should be redeemed, because He's in suffer when His children are not, get along with each other, fight with each other, and don't have peace. Okay, so B'ezrat Hashem, we will pray and we will try our best to do whatever we can do. We cannot fix the whole world, but we can fix ourselves. And B'ezrat Hashem sees it and bring the Mashiach b'mera. Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.